When it comes to the gift of faith, your mind goes to that famous passage, if you only believed, you would have the faith to speak to the mountain, and the mountain would get up and be cast into the sea. Faith the size of a mustard seed. So I look at this gigantic mountain that was needing to be moved, and I would measure my faith next to it. And I would think, wow, if I just had this much faith, it could cause this thing to move. I just don't know if I had that much faith. So I was trying to cram mountain-sized faith into a mustard seed. And I would struggle, and I'm like, all right, Lord, just, help me believe better, help me get through this process. I was trying to have mountain-sized faith in a mustard seed, rather than realizing that hidden within the seed is something that grows and expands. And so I was trying to make the seed become the mountain without realizing I could see the mountain within the seed. And so by seeing the mountain within the seed, I began to develop something I call mustard-sized faith. Now, the gift of faith is one of the gifts mentioned, and we've been going through this spiritual gifts series. As I was going through this journey of understanding the gift of faith and what it is, and how is that different from regular faith? I don't know if it is or isn't. Maybe it is. Maybe there's some type of difference. I used to teach, here's faith, but here's like supercharged faith. Well, to me, faith is faith. Now, some people, like Smith Wigglesworth, if I can name someone off the top of my head, he was known as the apostle of faith. And he just said, only believe, and he couldn't pronounce his H's very well. So instead of saying he's healed, he would say he's healed. Very direct, very an amazing man of God. So much so that one time when he was in Australia, he just began to pray, and the light got so bright and the heat got so intense that everyone else had to leave the room just by tasting a little bit of what Smith experiences on a daily basis. And so I look at people like that and think, man, my faith level is nowhere near that. Yes, I've seen some miracles. Yes, I've had encounters. Yes, I've even gone to some heavenly places. And all of those are fueling my faith. I still had this weird paradigm of what is the gift of faith? How do I grow in my faith? And then it hit me. The mustard seed grows and becomes. I don't think Jesus there was saying that, you're full of doubt. If you weren't full of doubt, he was just saying, I think what he was saying is that if there's just a little bit of faith there, that little bit of faith can do amazing things. And when I realized that I didn't have to have perfect faith, Jesus has perfect faith. If I could just have a little bit of genuine faith, that was enough to grow into that perfection. That was enough to grow into the fullness of faith. That was enough to ignite the gift of faith for me to believe bigger and greater things. So sometimes now when I go into a situation, I might feel completely faithless, and I'm just like, Lord, I don't know if this person is going to get healed or not. I don't know if I have the faith right now to preach. I don't know if I have the courage or confidence to go speak to someone and tell them about you right now. So in those moments of weakness, I think, but what if I just take the little bit I do have? So I begin to ignore the doubt and fear that might be trying to disrupt what heaven wants to do in the moment, how heaven wants to touch that person, or how heaven wants me to grow. I'll ignore that. I'll grab onto that little mustard-sized faith, and I'll say, okay, Lord, this is enough. If I can take this little mustard seed and blow it into the situation that's in my life right now, that's enough for heaven to ignite and fill the situation. So if you're struggling with faith, don't look at what you're not believing. Look at that little bit that you do and say, Lord, here's my faith. Can you take this faith? Can this faith grow and become mountain-sized faith that just sees the dead raised, the sick healed, the blind eyes open, mountains that literally get up and go into the sea? And it's crazy what is available. The Bible talks about things like terraforming the planet. I don't think Jesus was only being figurative. Obviously, a mountain could be a metaphor of life. But if there's a mountain that's immersed in the earth that is in the way of what God wants to do, that mountain can move. The clouds, the weather can listen. I'll link it below, but we have a video on the channel that we talk about the ability to control the weather. You can feel the wind. Yeah. I feel it even now. And even that took faith to put my hands out. And am I going to fabricate this, or do I really feel wind? And I felt the wind kind of blow across like this. And it's almost like, a conductor's hand right now, just kind of blowing right in here in the studio. So just put your hands out. I just bless you to receive faith, to have a supernatural encounter right now that causes you to rise out of your situation, to take hold, to dream, to become. Guys, if you're loving these spiritual gift series and you want to see more, I'll link the rest of the playlist below. If you want to see what else is coming, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thanks for being part of our YouTube channel.